All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. It depends your time and your location. You're joining us today at Eastern News 24, whereby Swede Uterunyabo Ozidio Kemba, I send the by Udoduno. Nkoechiri Yazelo, I send the Mirindo as Mirata Namazwana, as Naniboya Dikechi, the Chada Agwago, Ajukwera Napo. Ibomane Gentine Sora ni Rapupo, Obnanka Obosis Guinness Sora, because Metwaka na subscribe button and subscribe. Turn on the notification bell so that kila pine miss any of our update the guy with here near Wapupo. Una no go see da Sonic Kutu enyogo water pro mass near Wapupo. Macho kumgeya bife ifoku basta makono do boda ifeneme no boda ifopya na nki bazo adolomma I guess ya bife drop if you channel didn't get basta makifendi no. All right, over to you.
Protesters, and do you feel at any point the protesters moved over to being guilty of a crime?
No, I've not seen any crime being committed by the people. The only crime constantly, is that committed by the elites and both political and business against the Nigerian people. That is what should be treasonous, and we as Nigerians must understand class consciousness. When you call me an activist, I was like, because I believe I'm truly a revolutionary. I'm looking to really change this country, not reform it, but to really change the system, because we have to be class conscious to understand that we as the people, the working class, the poor people, we are different from the rich people. The social contract of this country that they say we are running since 1999 is that these rich people will take all the resources, all the opportunities, every government incentive goes to them. And from this largesse, they will in turn invest in the economy, in the infrastructure, in society at large, in our education, in our healthcare, and they will bring it to the reach of the common man. Even if it is private, they will pay him the wage he needs to access those services. But they've never employed enough people to be able to afford the field that they built, and they've not even made the wage livable so that we can afford these services. So this is the failure. This is the treason in itself that nobody talks about. So when they say there's treason, it's the way they run politics, like the way Wike express loyalty for Fubara, and that one is refusing to respect him. He's a traitor. So since you don't bow down, the people come outside to speak against them, the people are definitely traitors. Not traitors to Nigeria, but traitors to the individuals that have privatized our public institutions.
Now, I'm going to move to you, Festus. Are Nigerians right in their demands for good governance and these things that Seun has mentioned? Because this government promises renewed hope, and they've said that some of these painful decisions need to be taken now in order for us to benefit from the better infrastructure, the jobs, the opportunities to live, earn a good wage. So should Nigerians be patient and wait for these dividends of democracy to yield, or should we be looking to protest?
When a government has failed in its primary responsibility to protect the life of the people and provide basic amenities for them, why should the people be quiet? I believe that protest at any time is justified in this country. It is even more justified because in spite of the 10-day protest that we held last month, the government has not learnt any lesson. Was it not last week that the government charged 10 of the protesters to court for treason? The same government of Nigeria was charging them to court for demanding an end to bad governance. It's in the charge, clearly. Charging protesters to court for demanding an end to bad governance. You are charging protesters to court for simply asking that Tinubu must go. They said that is a crime. When a government elected over a year has failed abysmally, why should the people not demand that he should leave office? That is the question we are asking ourselves. Why should the people not demand? So a government that criminalizes complaints of its citizens do not have the right to tell the citizen to be patient, because the government has never been patient in spending recklessly. You want our people to be patient, but You have close to 50 ministers. You want our people to be patient. There is no reduction in the cost of governance. Reckless spending here and there. Those that have held our country to ransom by the failure to deliver the dividend of democracy do not have that right to ask our people to be patient. So I believe strongly that the Nigerian government does not listen to the Nigerian people. The only language that the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu understands is protest. If we are speaking English on TV, they will not listen to us. That's the truth. You write on newspaper, they will not listen. You rant on social media, they will not listen. But when you take your placard out there to say you want to protest, you see they begin to hold emergency meeting. The emergency meeting they have failed to hold in few weeks now. They've not held any emergency. But the day Nigeria come out to say, look, we are tired of this suffering. We are tired of queuing in a country that produces has abundance of oil. We are tired of queuing. We are tired of suffering. We are tired of the whole pain and hardship. You see that they begin to panic. So it appears to me that the only language the Nigerian government understands is protest. And if that is the language they understand, I think we should speak loudly to their hearing.
Seun, is that the language we should be speaking? Should protest become a regular form of communication with this government? Or should we explore other means, like Festus has said, like speaking here on TV, writing, engaging, writing in the newspapers? Is protesting enough and really get the ears of the people who lead us?
I'm going to paraphrase Martin Luther King. I'm not sure exactly how he said it, but he said something like, I'd rather live in a war zone, right, that is just, than live in a peaceful place where there are no rights. Because there's nothing more peaceful than an unjust society where everybody have accepted their fate. They have accepted to be oppressed. So they keep quiet. So the oppressors can just do what they like. I mean, up to 10 years ago, Nigerians were the most resilient people in the world. They were telling us, giving us polls of how we are the happiest people in the world. Nobody came to give us award for it. But now that we want to start speaking up for the betterment of ourselves, we are being charged and called. But what I would say to Nigerians, though, protest is not enough. As he said, I see protest as, a child to a loving parent complaining, oh daddy, mommy, I don't want to eat this, I want to leave mommy because he cares, and the daddy and mommy cares. But these people don't care. That's why I don't preach protest only. I also preach mass organization, because we the people must also organize ourselves for power. It is not enough that we are protesting that we don't like what they do. We must also be sending the signals that we are ready to replace them, not with another version of themselves as we did before, from PDP to APC, but with a new people's movement, powered by the people, with workers from, representatives from our side of the divide, from the working people, from the poor people, to rule this country for our own benefit. So it's not enough that people even want to protest. Protest is the beginning of this dance. The real party starts when we begin to mass mobilize and mass organize into a socialist identity to release this country from this capitalist nonsense that we're experiencing. I mean, look at what we are going through in Nigeria today, and they are releasing pictures of our executives in Saint-Tropez. It's all over the social media. All of them enjoying their life at this period in time of the country. So it shows that we are not in the same reality. Nobody, these people, maybe they are saying, we are selling for sacrifice. And even to the president, I will say, the fact that he says that these decisions he's making are tough decisions is also a misnomer. It's propaganda. It is well oiled. And it is for the professionals, the journalists, to help them spin this nonsense that is going on. Because to be tough, right, means to compete or challenge your equals. Right? That's, if you are beating your child, that doesn't make you tough. But when you fight your mates, that's toughness. Right? To beat your child is wicked. So to heap suffering on Nigerian people, on poor people, on the workers, on the masses of the citizens, to say, okay, we want to get to the bottom of the subsidy regime. We want to see why it did not work. when he tackles people in his own class and brings them to book, this oil situation would have been solved if that was the route we went to. But instead, he decided to be wicked, and they call wickedness toughness. No. I want to see a president that is tough in this country. I truly want to see a tough president that can truly stand up, straighten his spine, and face the true issues of this country. I want to see that tough president, but it doesn't exist today. Nobody should be saying this wickedness is toughness. No. This renewed hope that you said before, I'm going to tell you, no, is renewed scope, as we say on the streets.
Festus, I want to ask you that Nigerians now are saying when? When do we have the answers? How long should Nigerians wait for those answers? And I want to also lean into what Sean just said about mass organization. Is this a wake-up call for 2027? Or we still have some time before 2027 to see if indeed it's renewed hope or renewed scope?
Well, I think it's a case of renewed hopelessness. I've looked at this administration carefully. I am afraid that the president may not have what it takes to take Nigeria out of the doldrum. Not just that. It also appears to me that the president, apart from being completely incompetent, the president equally does not believe in basic democratic ideals. You are telling the people to be patient. You are saying, look, our people, please have hope in me. But over a year, we are not seeing any signal that this country is heading towards a right destination. But again, we cannot blame the president, because if anyone gets power illegitimately, it is very difficult for such a person to deliver the dividend of democracy or to do anything meaningful with it. What I have seen playing out is that the president does not understand.
All right, tupo ayaganelo igosini yabi fenders follow for aloy jumakoku ni rakupo abuna nka bubosi zigine sere na Eastern News 24 kabaru ki subscribe network ebe se bell turn on your notification on so that kila pine miss any of our update the kind with here. All right, let's continue with the discussion.
The solution to Nigeria's problem. Our people are suffering.
My brother, sorry to cut you. I beg to differ.
Very well.
Go on.
I believe, that is my belief, that the president of Nigeria and the people surrounding him, they do not have the capacity to take our people out of this world. And the reason is very simple. They profit from the inefficiency of the system. The way the country is not governed properly, it profits them. We have a country where corruption and impunity reign supreme. It profits the ruling elite at the expense of the poor. But because they do not feel the pulse of our people, they continue their reign in power. That's the way I see it.
You said you disagree, and I want to know whether we can give this government till 2027, or in this mass organization, are you saying that more people need to set up political parties? There needs to be sensitization, because at this point, Nigerians just want a solution, a messiah of sorts to deliver them.
No president, no messiah can deliver Nigerian people. That's one thing we must understand. Only the Nigerian people can deliver Nigeria. You see, one of the things, we are 25 years too late already. 1999 to 2025, that we don't have a pro-people's party already with a socialist ideology to share the resources of this country evenly and justly, equitably, not evenly, equitably. The relationship between Nigerians, our elites, and our resources has to change. That is the bottom line, of this argument here. When my brother here was saying, you don't have this, the president of this country today, I've said it before and I'll say it again, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is one of the men, when I was young, in my teenage years, that inspired my political consciousness. With my uncle, Dr. Beko, these were the kingpins of Nadeco. These were the pro-democracy men that we look up to. Uncle Wale Soyinka, the words that they spoke. So even if this president is saying today that saying the president must go after 1 year is treason, in 2012 he was part of a protest I was a part of that were calling for Jonathan to leave 1 year into his reign. Abi? So the issue that we Nigerian people must understand is that these people know what to do. They don't care about doing it. We must understand that fact first. We must not see what is happening as a mistake, trial and error. Because many of us are raised with the win or lose mentality. We don't understand that we are in a life or death situation. We are busy trying to win and crying when we lose. You understand? But this is a life or death situation. So we go to school and it is a shame and a tragedy that we have to be educated by our elites. You know, and the job of every elite, everywhere in the world is not wrong, is to put their spirits in the youth. The Chinese educational system, that's what it does, is the vision, ambition, and experience of the elders, of the elites that is taught in the schools. What we need for our country to move, that spirit is put into the education. So it is the spirit of our elite that is put into our education here. You know, so it is linked directly to making money, competition. I'm better than you. Compete, test, all this one, don't look at all these things that we do. Let me not go into on that thing entirely, but it brings out the individual lawyer that thinks, oh, I'm a lawyer to make money. A doctor, oh, I'm a doctor to be rich. Musician, I want to sing song to be rich. Everybody just wants to be rich with them. We don't understand that national development cannot be divorced from national talent. So when the education has divorced national talent from national development, that is where we find ourselves. So everybody is easily bought and sold to anything that we think we want to do for our own personal benefit. We don't believe that our talent is needed for the development of our nation, that we must engage. People will laugh at you. What difference will it make? The difference is that you have done something. You know, so we have to be the one to organize around this new ideology, understanding that it is not through competition. Yes, it's okay, but we need cooperation, because they lie to us. They can tell us every day, hey, don't competition, there's another of the fittest, capitalism. But when you work in their companies, they tell you cooperate. They don't tell their workers to compete among themselves in the company. It's just when they say tribalism in Nigeria. When it's time to do national work, that's when I hear tribalism. Because I know in all these banks, they have people from all over Nigeria working in there.
And even the national teams, I mean, we have a representation of different tribes that competing under the Nigerian flag. I'm going to move to you, Festus, and I think the question is, what should Nigerians be doing now? I mean, we've tried the protest. There's been an announcement there's another protest coming. Sean has said that it's not enough to protest. It's
Absolutely.
just one song. But Nigerians that do feel helpless, like, what can I do? Like Sean said, what's that thing you can do and know that you've done something to move this country forward?
I would say this very clearly, that you cannot have a revolution on behalf of an ignorant people. What the Nigerian political elite have done is to weaponize ignorance and weaponize poverty. Now, we have a duty as conscious people to conscientize the rest of us, to awaken their consciousness. That is the first thing we need to do. And that has to do with conscientizing them, mobilizing them, awakening their consciousness. Because I was somewhere yesterday, someone was still talking, making excuses for the government, giving me reasons why the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is trying its best. These people do not essentially understand. And because ignorance have been weaponized, we, the middle class, we have that responsibility to conscientize the rest of us. And when our people are highly conscientized, they understand the issues. They see reasons why their voice is powerful, why they have to use their voice. Then we can now move towards a political change. What we need in Nigeria is political change. Nigeria is unlikely to move forward with the crop of leadership that we have now. But we cannot necessarily take away those leaders unless and until we have a conscious citizenry, and that is the work we have to do, and we've been doing it by mobilizing our people. But you cannot mobilize the people that are largely ignorant.
I think that ties into what Sean said about, organizing people and letting people know the collective good. And I would like you to...
That has to be done by educating them. We have a populace that is politically ignorant. So we have a responsibility to educate them, to raise their consciousness. Some people, we were on the streets August 1st. We protested from the under bridge to Ojota. And some people were still asking. In fact, a journalist was asking me, "Lawyer, what are you doing here?" A journalist was asking me that.
So the national consciousness.
We need a national consciousness.
I'd like Sean to respond to that.
I think I've said it on this show before, that a nation cannot develop above the consciousness of its people. If our collective consciousness as Nigerians is the level of Nigeria's development, your nation cannot rise above the consciousness of its people. You see, we have a responsibility, a duty, but it's also a spiritual calling. I don't like to discuss spirituality too much, but let me touch on it a bit. We Africans that are alive today are those that told our ancestors that we want to come back and fix it. I call this generation the liberation generation. It is also a spiritual calling. That's why we are restless. That's why even those of us that don't partake have to let everybody know that we don't partake. That is partaking. Because the situation of African people, not only in our country, all over the world, does not sit well with us the way it sat well with the generations before. You understand? We, the majority here, what we are missing is the understanding of that intuition, the courage to actually, because I don't like explaining what is going on. Everybody knows what is going on. So it is the courage and the conviction to do it, to carry it out, that is lacking. We, the professionals of Nigeria, have been aligned for too long with the oppressor. Our people are ready to, they are on the verge. They want to see that we are on their side. We are the ones holding them back. It's not fear. The moment, people judge musicians, Nigerian musicians are not singing political songs. To who? The musicians must feel like the lawyers care about justice, that the doctors care about the health of the nation, that the engineers are engineering and the development of the country, that the educators, the professors care about the education and the knowledge of your. Those are also, musicians will be inspired to make the music to inspire those people. So it is the professionals of this country that must change their allegiance. The bankers must stop, regardless of what your guy said. Start forming your mobilizing from within these organizations. You won't know these files you are carrying to launder money is wrong. Your guy wants you to do it. Mobilize yourself. Let the people know what's going on. We are the people. They can't bring their family to run all these companies and all these banks. They can't do it. They need the people. And they've not educated us enough to even have a big pool to choose from with the way the professionals are already running away safe. It's a little pool. So they have to come to the table. This is how we begin to wrest power from them. Let us, the professionals of Nigeria, come to the side of the people. Those that have been able to get some comfort within this oppression must realize that comfort is not to near the oppressor. No, it's to build a bridge to your people, to pull them out of the darkness, to stand with us as a force, not because we want to dominate them, no, because we want to show them what's going on, and within ourselves decide how we represent ourselves.
So a realignment and a national consciousness and that continuous engagement with government and doing what must be done.
We have a national orientation agency.
That's all we can
billions. What are you doing with it?
Well said, guys. Like this Tinubu government, like they're kind of smart in a wrong way, because they know very well that when they increase this fuel price, Nigerians must.
All right, thank you once again. Yabife, Yabife, if you will gbasịta maka ya bụ ife maka ọ na-eji onye ọbụla na-egotezi ya wọtọwọtọ kịta ka efi were ikwu gbasịta maka ihe Sonny Kuti kwụ n'iru akwụkwọ n'ụbọchị uhuruchi kịta. Drọpụrụ ya on the comment section below ka mara ife iche n'obi gị. Ọzọ dịka ibi ya bụ mata na ya bụ Eastern News 24 ka esi were wetara ya bụ nnukwu ozi dị oke mkpa. Ka emesịa na ụmụnne m.